Transformers fans, and welcome back to another cool toy review. Today we are reviewing the new Transformers Legacy Evolution Generation 2 Universe Lasercycle from the Walmart exclusive Toxitron set of figures. This one's kind of funny because technically it's also Jazz. Let me explain. So, yes, we did already get a G2 Jazz in this set. That was the very sunsetty looking Jazz that we got, that we reviewed earlier, previously on CoolToyReview.com. And this one was also originally named Jazz before its figure got canceled and not re-released. It was going to be a repaint of one of the Generation 2 Lasercycle figures that were actually released in the Generation 2 line. But, like I said, like a lot of the other G2 repaints that got released in this set, it was a canceled figure. It was never put into actual production and released into retail until now with its new modern Legacy updated mold. And it looks pretty good in the packaging. This one is just a repaint of the G2 Universe Road Rocket from the Velocitron Speedia 500 line from 2022, which was also a Walmart exclusive line. And it's still fairly accurate to the source material of the canceled figure. They just renamed it Lasercycle since it's a repaint of a Lasercycle, which is kind of a clever pivot away from the name Jazz since they've already used Jazz and I guess didn't want to release two figures named Jazz in the same set of figures. And honestly, I'm okay with that. So, here it is in the packaging. He looks pretty awesome. You've got that Legacy Evolution artwork, and the artwork of this figure just looks so good on the front. I mean, it does on all of these figures, but especially for Lasercycle here. On the side, you've got some robot mode artwork of Lasercycle. On that side, you've got some Legacy Evolution banner artwork in the Toxitron colors. On the back, you've got some words and things and product shots of Lasercycle in both modes. And that's pretty much it for the packaging. And here is Lasercycle out of the packaging. And Lasercycle looks great. Lasercycle looks really awesome. Honestly, I like the Sprite Colors version of this figure more than I like the colors on this figure. I think it looks definitely better. I like the way that the colors fade into each other, how the yellows fade into the white. I like how you have the bright greens that go with the bright yellows. It's a very nice color combination for this figure, and I also really like the translucent blues, and I like how the blue is bright enough to where it's almost just plain translucent, so it offsets well the white, the clear, and the green, in my opinion. It is fully articulated. Head is on a ball joint. Fully articulated shoulders, in and out. Upper bicep, single jointed elbows. Wrist swivel. It's kind of hard to see. There you go. Wrist swivel. You can take off these little bits. They do go together just like with the other releases of this figure mold. The front wheel also unpegs and opens up into a blaster just like with the other releases of this figure mold right here. I just typically like to leave it on the figure because is it a neat little feature? Sure, but I don't know. I've always thought it was just a little on the silly side and doesn't look enough like a blaster to me. I know maybe my imagination's just shot. I like to think I have a pretty good imagination, but that's a weird blaster. It doesn't really look like a blaster. It looks more like a softball launcher than it does a blaster, in my opinion. But hey, that's just me. Waist, hips are on a ball joint, upper thigh, single jointed knees, side ankles. You can collapse the foot down, but that's mostly due to transformation anyway. Real quick for comparison, I already know I showed it off once, but here is Lasercycle next to Road Rocket, so you can see the two Lasercycle-esque characters side by side. They do transform into the same bike mode. They're the exact same mold overall. This is just a straight up repaint of this figure right here. And a good one. I mean, this figure was always going to be a repaint anyway. Even the original canceled figure, like I said, was just a repaint of one of the previous existing Lasercycle figures. So This figure was never going to be anything truly new aside from paint job, and this release is a good recreation of that in my opinion. And since this is a repaint of what was a canceled Jazz figure and released in the same wave, here is Jazz next to Jazz, if this is Jazz in your headcanon. So you can see them side by side, and again, this is also the Toxitron Jazz. Transformation is just like the other releases of this figure, just as simple. We're going to start by taking off the little energy blades, which do combine just like on all of the other releases, and you can have them use it as a shield, you could have them use it as like a ninja star, kind of like this one does, whichever you like. Next, we're going to pull, not this all the way off, although it is a removable piece and does come packaged separately. We're going to pull this back section out. We're going to rotate this and rotate this forward. And then we're just going to kind of leave it alone for right now as we do other stuff. Next, we're going to come around here. We're going to rotate this waist. We're going to rotate this crotch plate. And then we're going to pull on this section right here. This heel is going to tab into the back of what was the leg on that little pipe section. We're going to do the same thing right there. We're going to extend these rear wheels. We're going to collapse the feet on that, and then we're going to bring this up, bring those thighs over, and bring those knees around the shoulder and pull all of that down like so. Then line up the pegs on the inner portion of the wheels and peg the wheels together like so. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come over here to the arms. We're going to rotate these sections like so. Make sure the hands are relatively straight, where the back of the hands are just under this section right here, and then we're going to slide those bits forward. Next, we're going to, and then untab the shoulder section from the torso, bring that down. It's going to peg into the side, bring that other one down, that's going to peg into the side, and then those are going to peg in the middle. Then we're going to bring this front section down like so, and then we're going to bring these little wing-like sections in. This little bit is going to tab in right there in that tri-peg looking section, and then this little rectangular peg is going to tab in to the side of what was the leg. So use those two pegs to guide you as you shift things in case things aren't exactly in the correct position they're supposed to be in, and then that'll make everything else secure into place. And there you have little Lasercycle here, and it's alt mode. And the color scheme looks even better. The fade effect on the paint looks even better in alt mode. You can really see all of that paint job and paint effect that they did with this figure in its alt mode, and I think it looks absolutely fantastic. I love the robot modes of the Toxitron figures, but the alt modes is where their paint jobs really, really stick out, in my opinion, on these figures, and that's where they really, really shine. And it's really nice to see a paint job on a figure come together, especially on the alt mode, like it does on these figures. And of course, for comparison, here is Lasercycle next to Road Rocket in their bike modes. So you can see them side by side. And I think they look pretty good side by side. And of course, once again, in case this is Jazz for you as well, because technically it is a Jazz figure also, here is Jazz next to Jazz in their alt modes from the Toxitron set. Now, between the two of them, going by the name Jazz, I definitely prefer this one over this one because just I love this figure so much more than I expected to, and really, in truth, I feel that way about the majority of this line. There were a couple figures, there were 3 figures I was really, truly, genuinely excited for. I have to have them. That was Toxitron, Cloud Cover, and Sideswipe. Those were the ones I was most excited about. I was still picking up the rest regardless, but I ended up really liking these figures, these 2 figures especially, a lot more than I anticipated. these, and of course Grimlock as well. Grimlock was probably the one I was least excited about, but I do actually really like that Grimlock a lot, especially now that I've seen it in person out of box. Guys, thank you so much for tuning into today's review featuring the new Transformers Legacy Evolution G2 Universe Lasercycle from the Walmart exclusive Toxitron set of figures. Overall, this is a pretty awesome figure. I think it's really funny that they released 2 unused Jazz concepts that were initially canceled and then just like slightly changed the name so it doesn't look like they're releasing the same character twice. And like I said, some of the concepts of G2 and then later on into Machine Wars were later adapted to where these characters were clones of the original genuine icons. So it could be that this version of Lasercycle here, or G2 Jazz, is a clone of the original Jazz. You could think of it like that if you like. Regardless, it's a cool figure, and I'm glad I picked it up. And make sure you check your Walmarts for availability so you can pick up this guy as well. Like and subscribe. Follow us on social media. Make sure you're checking the Cool Toy Review main website for daily toy-related news, videos, and more. And like and subscribe to our sister channel, Bay 12, for all kinds of awesome other toy reviews and content. That's where I do the bulk of my Transformer reviews, but I also wanted to have some exclusive content to the Cool Toy Review website and YouTube channel as well. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in over here. If you like Star Wars content, check out our other sister website, rebelscum.com, the world's oldest and largest Star Wars fan website, not owned by Disney, and Nick also contributes a lot of Star Wars related content there. And like and subscribe to the rebelscum.com YouTube channel so you don't miss out on that awesome content. Sign up for collectorsoracle.com today so you can manage your collection like a pro. It's totally free to use. We don't have Transformers archived on collectorsoracle.com yet. It's mostly Star Wars for now, but other brands are coming in the future, so make sure you stay tuned for that. And like I said, sign up today because it's free to have an account on collectorsoracle.com. We'll see you guys later. We'll see you another time. Transform and roll out.